All right. Shalom, y'all. Shalom, shalom, shalom. I'm Michael Israel. You are watching Spiritual Combat. And we are continuing the Straitway Life series. This is episode 2. And we have an interview with Elder Rufus of Straitway, Georgia. The first Straitway community outside of the hub. And Elder Rufus is definitely going to talk about that. But before we get up to all that, Elder Rufus, want to welcome you to the show. Appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to come on here.
Yes, sir.
All right. And got a lot of good questions. I'm sure the brothers and sisters watching are going to be edified. Have a lot of pictures and stuff. So I think this is going to continue to give everybody a real good feel for what fruits are and what walking this thing out truly looks like. But Elder Rufus, I'm going to hand it over to you for a second to just give a brief intro, and then we're going to get into the questions. So I yield the floor to you.
All right. Bless you, saints. Y'all that are paying attention tonight. Again, like he said, my name is Elder Rufus. I'm the head of the Straitway, Georgia community. We actually have 2 communities here in Georgia. One here, and then we have another one called Straitway, Georgia East. I believe we got established in 2011, and that's when I met Pastor Dow. Now, I was already in the faith, Torah observant, keeping the law, statutes, commandments, feast days. I was doing all that before I met Pastor Dow, but I really truly found out about being a Hebrew Israelite, who my heritage and my culture was back then in 2011 with Pastor Dow. And y'all moved on us quick. Because I had been out there for 3 years looking for the man of Yah and the people of Yah. And I didn't know where they were, but I knew I was going to find them. And once I found Pastor Dow and them, I just knew, okay, I'm supposed to be here with the people of Yah. I've been looking for 3 years for these people, and I finally found them, so this is where I need to be. Well, Yah had other plans. He wanted to start communities, and he used me to start the first community outside of the Straitway hub. And we got in the ministry back in the beginning of like the spring feast of 2011. By that summer, we were in community already. And
wow.
And we've been rolling ever since. So it's been 10, 11 years that we've been doing it. And obviously we've been, what the world would call successful at it because we've been able to grow, in lands. We've been able to grow in people. More importantly, we've just been able to grow in spirit. So I'm excited with what the Most High got going for us now. I've been pressing really, really hard for the unity of the brethren, the unity of the saints. And you've been here, Mike. One of the things that I really, really press here at Straitway, Georgia, is that family atmosphere. Even though we're growing, we're bigger, you kind of can probably hear a little echo. This is our new multi-purpose building I'm sitting in that we just built. All the brothers here built this. The brothers in Straitway as a whole have come in and helped us build this building. But even in that, we still want to keep this thing family and keep it tight. So, and some of these pictures you're showing is us constructing it and putting up everything. And that's what it looked like when Pastor and them came right there. I saw that what he did at Daniel's. They had the same, mud on the walls. And Pastor, I guess we're making that a tradition now. y'all time is coming, brother Mike. As soon as y'all are close, Pastor coming. All right, as soon as y'all are close. So, but that's the quick, breakdown of who I am and what I am. Those that want to know like what my role is in the ministry, I'm an elder in the ministry. I'm a chief elder in the ministry. One of my main roles is to support Pastor Dow and take as much off of him that I can spiritually do. That's the number one responsibility for me. So the things that Pastor used to be able to go out and do, now that the ministry has grown so much and spread across the world, he just doesn't have time to do those things. So I make myself available to be able to do it. It's a beautiful thing too, because we start off with 2 brothers here, two brothers here, me and Brother Darusha. And now I don't know. I can't even tell you how many brothers we have here now in Straitway, Georgia. It's definitely over 20, definitely over 25, probably 30 or 40. You know what I mean? We have a lot of brothers here. So, and those brothers are unified. So they come together, and I'm still, coordinating, doing all the logistics, putting everything together. But the actual manual labor, the little small stuff, those brothers take care of that, so that I am free and I'm available to be there for Pastor Dow, to go wherever he tells me to go, show up wherever he tells me to show up, do what he tells me to do. So that's my number one role in this ministry right now. And of course, that comes with a lot of counseling and a lot of conference time. And, Mike, as a community head, I'm available for you guys a lot. You know what I mean? You community heads call on me a lot because, pastor's busy. You can't get to pastor. So if it's something you're going through that's over my head, I can get it to pastor for you. So kind of be like a middleman. But that's kind of what my main role is right now, dealing with a bunch of logistics, and planning, and going out. Like Pastor said on one of his recent interviews, he talked about how, I'm kind of like a forerunner. I go to the places, check them out, give all the instructions to the leader there and the saints there, show them how to do a Shabbat, show them how to just live communal and live holy. And then once they kind of get that down a little bit and we can tell they're serious, that's when the man y'all show up, put the real charge on you, and then it's time for us to get after it as a community, as a group. So, and you've experienced that, huh, Mike?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So for those that wonder, like, what Elder Rufus do on a daily basis, that's my main role right there.
Yeah. Got a bunch of good questions here, but we're going to get deeper into it. But if you could discuss the fruits you see when people are all in versus when people are not all in. Like what you discern or what you see. The patterns you've seen in your experience?
Well, the Bible's clear that if two don't agree, they can't walk together. So when you have, people that with you, if you're small in number and, you got someone that disagrees and they're contentious and they're coming against, all the instructions and all this kind of stuff, what it does is it hinders and slows down your growth. It hinders and slows down your growth. So, we kind of experienced that in the beginning because I had that same thing, just contentious, and we were growing, but to me, we were growing pretty slow. Going pretty slow because the main brothers, myself and the other brother, we just didn't agree. We didn't get on, you know what I'm saying? And this thing, if you look, it's always run like a dictatorship. It's just how it is. Y'all chooses someone to be in over it, and that person is the one that divvies out everything. He divvies out the finances, he organizes, he does all that. And then if you have a strength, that's on him to come to you and tell you, I need you in this area, I need you in this area. And the more willing and submitted servants of the Most High you have, the more unity you have. There's power in unity. So, our community is a very good example of that, of how we started off slow for the first, 5-6 years. But then as the brethren came, and the brothers, I'll be specific, once the men got on one accord and they got behind me and start following and supporting the vision, then you could squeeze out all of the negativity and all the contrary spirits. You see what I'm saying? You can squeeze it out, because what happens is you just love them out. It ain't like you're coming at them crazy or doing nothing to sabotage them. It's just that love, those spirits that are contrary towards love, they're not going to be able to function. So that individual is going to have to repent and get themselves together, which in our situation, the individuals did, because they're still with us. The individuals are still with us, and they're rolling strong with us now. You see what I'm saying? Or they're not going to be able to take it, and they're going to have to go away. They're going to have to just remove themselves and not be around it. I tell the saints all the time, you keep it up, I love you right up out of here. I sure will. I know how to do it. I know how to put that holy pressure on you to get you to repent, get in that chair and get the deliverance you need, or just get on up out of here because it's going to be too uncomfortable for you. But as soon as we got unified and the brethren start coming together, y'all start sending brothers. And like this place recently has just been a hub for saints coming from everywhere. I mean, we got saints that then came from the East Coast, 2 or 3 different groups of saints came from the West Coast. They coming from all over. Like even now, we have saints every week that come from Alabama, Southern Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee. You see what I'm saying? And this is just for regular service. This is just for fellowship that these saints come from all these different states. And it's just a testament to the Most High, how much he loves his people. And when you come together in unity, it automatically brings the power of the Most High. He will show up and you'll see, you'll start getting things done. See, to me, we should have had this building built 8 years ago. You know, if I had it my way. But we didn't have the unity that was needed to get this building done. And you've seen it, Mike. Well, you get a small group that's unified, everybody else in Israel want to come and support that group. So, Mike, you remember y'all were like here first, where this building is at. When y'all came, this is where y'all tents were at.
Yeah.
Y'all came and helped do the groundwork to get ready for this building to get built. So, and it's just a beautiful thing. So I love the fact that this building itself, not a foundation, we had to hire it out because we just didn't, you know, Pastor was busy at the time. But everything else, from the blocks to the framing, the window, everything else here was all done by Hebrews, all done by people of Straitway from all over the world. Came in, hey, can I come in for 3 days? Can I come in for a week? I think you guys stayed, what, like 5-6 days, Mike? Y'all stayed for a week. Yeah, I mean, so, and you see that is just contagious in Israel. That's what we just did up there with Elder Mitchell to help him get them blocks laid up there. You're gonna keep seeing that. When you guys are ready, it's gonna be the same thing down there in Florida and everywhere else that the saints have that one mindset. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. How and this is gonna kind of this is gonna kind of go right off what you're already talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and I asked Pastor too, and it's a question that I'm gonna ask everybody who comes on here, so that people in these other ministries or these so-called other ministries, these so-called other Hebrews who don't have anything to show or any fruit that they're really bearing, outside claiming that they got a good personality, like what? So in your mind, like, why isn't everyone making moves to get on community, to operate like this? Like, where's the disconnect? What are they missing? What would you say, Elder?
They just haven't given all. They just have not given all. The main thing you have to do is give all to Yah with your mind first. Spirit, heart, mind, body, soul. You got to mentally go there so that your heart can come along with it. And once that, now you're past yourself. You see what I'm saying? Now it's about a selfless lifestyle, and it's about servitude. Because if you go, because a lot of these people you're talking about, you know, they'll look at the works of the Messiah and they'll kind of poo-poo on what he did, but he was setting the example for us. And he came, and his whole entire ministry was strictly service. He was not here to be served, but he served. So we follow in that vein. So the reason why all the brethren like you guys come and everything, and y'all have no problem supporting, because you see the Pastor Dowds, the Pastor Corey's, the Elder Beckers, the Elder Rufuses, the Elder Mitchells, Elder Nani's, all the leadership, the teachers, and we're all giving all. And it's not about us. And a lot of times in these communities, you know, that the head is normally the main, a lot of times they're the main breadwinner. So when they're given everything that they make to benefit you to come in and have the same lifestyle that they have, how can you not just, you know, capitulate? How can you not just give yourself, you know? So these places out here, because the leaderships are not totally sacrificing. See, faith without works is dead. And they're going to talk like they have faith. They're going to spew a lot of scripture, and it's going to sound real good. But at the end of the day, they're not willing to sacrifice of their time, of their efforts, of their energies, of their finance. They're not. And when people see that, it's only going to go so far. It's kind of like knowledge. Knowledge has a shelf. It's not infinite. You see what I'm saying? It has a top out. And that's what happens with them. And then people will see, just like they saw in the Christian and the Muslims, all this, that, okay, it's really just a money grab here. People just taking in our money, giving us a little token speech every week, but they're not doing anything to help us get free. And that's why they will avoid those types of things in the scriptures that tell you, come out of her, my people, and all this. They don't want to talk about that stuff because they're not actually living it. So when you don't have that experience, how can you take it, knowledge, you get it, but then you have to apply it. And that's what it's called wisdom. Wisdom is just applied knowledge, right? And then once you start walking that wisdom out, now you have the understanding, like the book says, and all that getting, get an understanding. And once you have that, now you can give that to someone so that they can go do it themselves. And that's the stuff that becomes contagious with us. But with them, it's not, because the leadership is not sacrificing. They're not 100% sold out, and they care more about what someone will do for them instead of them giving all for the others. That makes sense.
So that's good, and that brings us right into the next question. What are the qualities of a good leader?
In my personal opinion, the qualities of a good leader is, the first thing you got to do is you got to be able to follow. You got to be able to follow. They're saying we got a little echo. Is it an echo on your end, Mike, or is it really more on me? It's probably in this building that I'm in.
Yeah, but let me.
I don't know if we can do anything about that, but
I'm gonna just turn my speaker volume down. That might help.
Okay.
Say so. Is that better?
I'm not sure. I just, excuse me, I just got word from the saints that are listening across the street. They said that there's an echo. And I know in here you can hear it. You know what I mean? This big old building, you can kind of hear it. But this
Yeah,
is
I
the
think
best
that's
place.
a little better. I turned my volume down.
Okay, hallelujah. They'll have to deal with it. But the characteristics of a good leader, the first thing they got to do is be a good follower. If you are some kind of leader, you have to be able to humble yourself first and foremost. Humble yourself and receive instruction. And then be humble enough and have drive and determination, grit, won't quit in you. You see what I'm saying? To go out and make sure that instruction gets finalized, that instruction gets fulfilled. That's the good characteristic trait of a leader. You have to motivate people in a way so that you can make sure you accomplish this mission. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Good leaders can do that. Again, they can discern. They have great discernment. Most great leaders have great discernment. They can look at people and see where they are spiritually, right? See where they are naturally, see where they are in their thoughts, and then be able to reach them, not to a place where you compromise the commandments or compromise the statutes. You see what I'm saying? Because that's the ultimate. We live by that. But you'll find a way in that individual to encourage them and motivate them and inspire them to be the best of what Yah's called them to be at that level. That's what a good leader does. And that goes back to what I said in the beginning, Mike, about how I worked so hard to keep a family atmosphere. When you go back and you read that book, we did it all together. Everything was together. Even when we came out of Egypt, we were together. We were a family. So I'm doing my best here and doing my part to make us still stay together, feel like it's together. Because you've been there. You could have family all together, but it don't feel like family. You know what I mean? This person doing what they doing. This person doing what they doing. This group over here talking about this part of the family. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
No, not here. If I got to art with you, I'm coming to you because I'm gonna keep that book and we're gonna work it out so that we can fellowship in harmony. We can fellowship and it don't have to be fake. You know what I mean? So I work really, really hard at the environment and the atmosphere that is set here. And that's another good trait that a leader will have. He'll understand that the tools that are necessary from a spiritual or natural perspective or physical perspective, he is in charge of setting those up so the people can have them. You know what I mean? If I'm in here playing, rap music all day, is that a spiritual atmosphere? So when everybody come in here and they all drag down and feel like shooting somebody or going and do something to some girl, or, you see what I'm saying? Well, what kind of environment did I create? And I think that's important for the leaders to do that. And then people see it. And because they got the spirit of truth, they'll gravitate and they'll take that back to their home or back to their room or wherever it is they have that they're in control over. And they'll make sure that they have that right type of atmosphere so that when we all come together, we in unison and we just send up sweet praise to the Most High. And he'll bless us and anoint the hands that we're working with and from the sweat of our brow, and we'll get work done. So we'll have inheritance and we'll have lands and buildings and all this stuff for the young generation. Our grandchildren and children will be able to inherit all this. But to me, that's what a good leader does.
And if you could, you're talking about lands and buildings and actually tangible fruit coming out of the environment, that we see in Straitway, and like you said, the environment that the leaders set up. One of the things me and you were talking about before we came on here live was just the fact about the building that's going on and the businesses that are going on, and you know, I know in the past, before I came to Straitway, I always wanted to just, you know, form a business with like-minded people. And I think being out there in the Hebrew community, a lot of Hebrews out there, that's what they want to do. But I think what they don't realize is a lot of them don't have their minds right and everything like that. So that what I found here, we have a business down here, a datacom business, and it was like the easiest thing to get up and rolling as far as with the brothers down here, because we were all of the same mind. Can you speak a little bit about, you know, the businesses that, and that's businesses plural, that they have up there in Georgia, but can you speak on that and how, you know, having the right mindset, how much that plays into it?
Yes, sir. Kind of back to the leadership thing. I remember our first business we started here. It has the name of Judah Property Pros, but it had a different name when we started. And I remember my brother coming to me. Now, mind you, this brother at the time, he didn't even live on the community. He was a part of the assembly, but he didn't live on the community. And he had a good idea. And I said, you know, that's a good idea. But if you started off in debt like they want you to, you're going to forever be working to pay this debt off. And you see what I'm saying? So what we did as a community, we got the funds and gave him the money to get started so that he didn't have to be in debt. Now, see, when you all on the same mindset, we build the business up together. The saints go and help you build the business up, right? Then all the funds from that come into the community. You see what I'm saying? It's the same way with our deck business. You know, that's all saints that work on the deck crew.
And while Elder Rufus is talking, I'm gonna be putting up some pictures of some of the decks that they've done with their business, and they're pretty impressive. So go ahead, Elder.
So all that comes back to the community, and then like even if you have a brother that is working, he's a brother in the faith, but he don't live on the community, you just pay him a good salary so he can still take care of his family. You see what I'm saying? But the brothers that live on the community, like right now, our deck ministers, we have three brothers that work on that crew. Two of them live on the community, one of them don't. Well, the one that doesn't, I pay him weekly. Whenever we do a job, I pay him. You see what I'm saying? So he can take care of his family and he can still give offerings to the Most High Yah. The other two brothers, all the income that's left from them, it comes in here. And everything is poured into the saints. No leadership in Straitway gets a salary, none. From pastor down on down, none of us get a salary. Every single dime that comes into this ministry goes back into building and planning for the future of this of what's going on here in Israel. So again, I'm gonna tie the two things together, Mike. The leadership is so critical because they have to be selfless. They have to care more about others than they do themselves. They got to care more about the community than they even do their own family at times. Because Pastor was saying this recently. Hey, community first. Community first. You know how they say in real estate, location, 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 right? Well, in living this set apart lifestyle, community, community, community. It is first, second, third, fifth, sixth. Your family way down the line. Why? Because they should be sacrificing on the same level that you're sacrificing on. And with these businesses that we've started, these are inherited things because the way we setting everything up with the foundations and all of it will go into that. So it will all just funnel into that. So the generation coming behind us, they'll inherit these businesses and they'll be able to work these things. Because again, they're getting on the job training on these things, the framing work and all this kind of stuff they're doing in the day. They're learning how to build in these businesses that we're doing. Elder Mitchell's got the truck driving businesses. You guys got the datacom businesses. I mean, we got businesses all over the ministry. You see what I'm saying? When it comes time, we'll be able to pool all those things together and utilize them to take care of all of Israel to where, again, the self-sufficiency that comes from coming out of her, now we won't need them for anything. We'll have our own trucks to take the meat from here that we raise, our goats and chickens and cows, right? We can take that meat, and then we have our drivers drive them to all the different communities throughout the week. You know, the milk, the whatever it is that we need, the produce, you know what I mean? Because everybody's producing produce. You know, our other community, that's literally 10 acres of food down there. Over there with Brother Robert, they call it Rock,
Right.
Straitway, Georgia East, that's literally almost 10 acres of food. We just grow there. So the amount of produce that's going to be produced is going to be enough for us to take care of each other. You see what I'm saying? So the concept of these businesses, you have to think of them from a different perspective than the world. The world wants you to build it all up, make it a franchise and do all this. That's not what we're looking to do. The flexibility of being your own boss, the flexibility of doing it for Israel allows us to do things like what I've done. Like we did a couple decks last year towards the end of the year, but after the feast, we wanted to get this building up and going. Y'all can go back and look. I think we started in October. Well, here it is. It's done pretty much. And we're in it. You see what I'm saying? But that meant that I can't send them out to do decks. I need the brothers here working. So because everything was pooled, and then everybody's got the right mindset, all the saints start stepping up and giving extra and all that, and then showing up and actually working. Not only did they give more, they actually showed up and worked more so that we can accomplish the task. And then once this is done, guess what we'll do? We'll move to Kentucky or whatever's next. And then from there, we'll move to Tennessee. Well, after that, we'll move to Florida. After that, we'll move to Mississippi. After that, we'll move to Maryland or Virginia. You see what I'm saying? That's the perpetual cycle of love and giving that you got to have in Israel for this thing to work. And it's not about you. It's about the children coming behind you. So then when we got all this infrastructure in place, we got all these businesses in place, we have all this generational wealth in place, then we could just teach y'all how to maintain it and how to grow it. That's it. And to keep it. Because, you know, the world is set up to take it. So, but that's what we do with our business. Both of our businesses, everything from it comes into this community. Every single time it does. Yes, sir.
Something you mentioned earlier, and you've alluded to it throughout our discussion, but really hit on, because something that is prevalent out there when I was out there in the so-called Hebrew Israelite community, I think is one of the main issues why nobody can come together outside of the saints here in Straitway, is people seem to have a problem with authority. Even recently, I've heard people like, well, ain't nobody gonna be up over me. Y'all over me, this, that, and the other. And like, it's clear in the Bible that it's a body and there's different parts. And just like the head has a job, you know, the hands have a job. Mm-hmm. Can you speak to that and how important that is in how we operate here?
Well, if you love the word tells you submit to them that have the rule over you, obey them that have the rule over you. So I would ask all these people to say, I'm not submitting to somebody. Well, who is that person the Bible speaking of then? Who has a rule over you? That would be the question that I ask. A lot of this,
and they probably say Master Charlie at their job. That's it.
Well, they're not going to admit that, but that's what it is. Because if he tells them to come in at 8 and you normally come in at 10, guess what you're gonna do? Your butt gonna show up at 8 o'clock because you feel like you need Master. See, what I need is Jesus. I need Jesus. I need the Messiah. And then I need his people that love him and submit to him and serve him with the fire and fervor that I have. That's all I need. I don't need them. So a lot of times it's hard for me to speak to stuff like this, Mike, because I know we have titles and we say the Hebrew community and all this kind of stuff, but I don't view these people in that same vein because they don't keep these scriptures. They don't walk this walk. They ignore these things that in their eyes don't benefit them, or they're too hard to do, or I don't want to be in this area. I don't want to give up my family. I don't want to do this. You see what I'm saying? That when it comes to that, paying that cost like the Messiah did, when it comes to you carrying what Christians say, carry your cross, right? We know it's a tree and all, but when it comes time for you to sacrifice on that level, you're not willing to do it. So I don't even view these people in that mindset, and I don't even try to reach them. See, I understand that true, when you go out and witness, true witnessing is your lifestyle. When you can live it, if a person truly loves Yah and they have been touched by him and been filled with his Holy Spirit and they got the spirit of truth in them, they will gravitate to you. When I look in them scriptures, when I look in the Gospels and I see the Messiah go out like he did, I don't remember them blasting and broadcasting. Jesus is in Jerusalem this week, and he's over here and here. You know what I mean? They didn't do that. He just showed up, and the people that knew, it went through the layer. Oh, Jesus. So folk came to him, and those that had faith and believed, guess what he did? He healed them. He delivered them. He got rid of all their sicknesses and diseases. You see what I'm saying? And then he also gave them a charge. I got you free. Go and sin no more. These people that are out there calling themselves Hebrew Israelites and part of the quote unquote Hebrew community. See, I asked them, show me Hebrew community in the scriptures. You can't even do it. We are the body of Yah. That's what we are. And we are the assembly. That's what we are. But those that fit that category, they have given all. See, we passed the Malachi. We passed the 10th. We passed the order of Melchizedek. We passed that. It's time to give everything. Why? That's what he did. That's what the Messiah did. So the reason they can't be reached, they don't have that same mindset. And I don't waste one moment on them. I don't. I'm not saying that if one came and I could, again, you're a good leader, you can discern. You see what I'm saying? You can discern. So I'm not saying that if a person came, I'm not going to hear what the Father tells me to say to them. But the most of the time, what they're there to do is to distract you from getting the work done. With senseless debates and senseless conversations that never have an ending to it because it's based off of worldly knowledge. It's not based off obedience to the scripture. You see what I'm saying? So I waste time with them. I'm too busy trying to do all this. You see what I'm saying? I'm too busy trying to get the little bit I've learned to people like you. You see what I'm saying? People that come with the same spirit, same desire, same fire. Okay, good. The little bit I got, I'm finna give it to you. And I'm going to keep gathering more and more and more so that when you get to that level, I can give you a little bit more. You see what I'm saying? You notice that with Pastor Dow. He don't hold nothing back from us. Everything he's ever learned in this walk, he gives it to us freely, just like the Messiah did. So I don't spend time worrying about why people outside of the camp can't understand and follow the scriptures. I already know why. The scriptures are very, very clear. The Messiah was very, very clear. Strong delusion comes from the Most High. And why did he send the strong delusion? Because they rejected his truth. So he's going to make sure that they believe a lie. So who am I to go in and try to convince them with words? Think about that. What will my words say to someone that is really reprobate already? Now, if they're not, that means y'all's dealing with them, and all I got to do is show them my faith. All I got to do is show it to them, and they will gravitate to it, and they'll want to be a part of it, and I'll give everything that's been given to me, I'll give to them freely. That's how this thing works. So that's why I said it's hard for me to deal with them sometimes, because I'm not thinking about them on a daily basis. I know some folk, oh man, that's our people. That's how. Well, if they really truly are people, y'all will be dealing with them just like he's dealing with us. There's been many called, but there's only going to be a few of us chosen. Man, that's a beautiful picture right there, man. I remember that day, right? We was hurting, man. We was hurting when y'all leave. See, we don't do good with the goodbyes, man. See you later. Ain't goodbye. I don't do good with the see you laters, man. They suck. I want to be around my family, man. And I love my family, flat out. And it ain't nothing that's within me or in my power that I won't do for my family. Hallelujah.
All right. So, for those of y'all watching in the comments, if y'all have any questions, matter of fact, somebody put one in here. I'm going to hit that. But while I'm finding that question, Elder, I'm going to hit you with this one. What is the most critical factor for community success?
Obedience. You have to be obedient to this word, and you have to submit. You have to be humble, because if you come in this thing thinking you know something, I've seen it too many times. I really have. I've seen it too many times where people come in and they want to be an individual. Like, like, I want to tap in to Straitway and Pastor Dow and get all the knowledge from him. and then just go do it on my own. And 2 or 3 years later, they have nothing. They don't even have a homestead some of the times. You know, they little so-called community turns into a homestead where it's just them and their family living. They don't even have, a lot of them don't, because again, you cannot play with the spirit of the Most High Yah. And if you are doing it for the wrong gains, you see what I'm saying? If you're trying to gain this for your own personal life, okay, I want this for my family or these specific people. If it ain't open to everyone like Jesus did, you ain't gonna make it. You will be an unsuccessful community. So you have to be obedient to the word of the Most High Yah. You have to humble yourself to receive it, and then you got to submit to them that have the rule over you. Now, I'm a leader, I'm an elder, but I got no issue, and you've seen it, I got no issue submitting to Pastor Dow. I ask people this question all the time. What do you do when you come across a man that is greater than you? I ask that question all the time. What do you do? And the answer is you submit. That's what you do. And that will make you a great leader. People look at me, oh, I love Elder Rufus, he's great leader, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, I just want to serve Yah. I don't care about the pats on the back. I don't care about the accolades. I just love my family. And I just want to get this work done for the little time that we have here. Because I'm storing up stuff for Shemaim. Not here, not for the moths to get, not for rust to get. You see what I'm saying? And I really, truly believe if a person wants to make it in community, they have to submit themselves to someone, because you learned it from somewhere. It just didn't come up. You had to see it somewhere. Yah made it available to you so you could see it, so you can catch on too. But it ain't for you to come in, use and manipulate. And so many people try. So many people try to be connected to the ministry. And you've seen it, Mike. They think they're connected, but they're not, because they're not in fellowship. They forsaken the fellowship. They're not giving of their time, energy, efforts, finances, nothing. They don't get deliverance. You see what I'm saying? You can see the patterns. It ain't going to make it. And then you pull these other simple-minded people with you, and now their blood is going to be on your hands. Because you didn't have the right mindset in the beginning. You did not have the humble spirit. You did not submit yourself. It wasn't about the body. It was about you. And that will be exposed. The stuff you doing secretly, you think you're doing secretly, y'all gonna expose that stuff openly. Bro, Mike, I'm telling you, I can't count how many communities I have seen get started from being connected to Straitway Truth Ministry and Pastor Dow that have failed. I guarantee you more have failed than are successful now. I guarantee that. Probably double. Just the ones I've seen with my eyes. And a lot of them, what ends up happening, they just turn into homesteads. See, if you're a homestead, you ain't no community, because that's just you living there with your family. That just benefits y'all. Who else can benefit from that? And in Israel, we're one. You know, when we all came and sold our lands, you know, when we read Acts chapter 2, Acts chapter 4, when we sold everything, did we not set it at the apostles' feet? And wasn't it his job to distribute out to everyone had need? But see, in the end, we all had all things common. So how is it that you got all this over here, but nobody else can tap into it? Nobody else has accessibility to it. You understanding what I'm saying?
Right.
So it just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work like that. So if you're going to be successful in this community, submit yourself first and foremost, because there's somebody doing it greater than you. So submit yourself to them. Then have a humble spirit, and then obey everything they tell you to do. I actually want stuff to look just like Straitway.
Yeah, I saw the way the ceiling shaped.
Yeah, the trusses were built the same way Straitway built their trusses. We got the information from Brother Tommy and Elder Becker. We built the same exact trusses. That's exactly what we did. And I was literally going to paint this thing the same color Straitway is. The thing that changed it, if you look on the one picture that shows you our checkerboard carpet, that's actually temporary carpet. I bought temporary squares just to be able to put down as we go back and forth from work. And I kept getting info from all the saints all over those watch videos. Oh, we love your carpet. We love it. We love it. Everybody wanted me to keep it. So we trying this, but I can't go blue with green, brown, and you know what I'm saying? I had to pick a color on the walls to match the carpet that everybody wanted. So we sticking now with the tent. We'll see how long it lasts. You know what I'm saying? But but the design of it coming in, it still has that same feel of Straitway. Does it look exactly like Straitway? No, it doesn't. There's a 7,200 square feet. Ours is 2,400. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the same atmosphere is here. So when
Right.
people come, they'll be like, man, wow, this feels just like Straitway. And I look at them crazy, be like, what'd you expect? This is Straitway. What are you talking about? It's just in Georgia. So I'm just an extension. Like the body. I got two arms. You see what I'm saying? I can't just take this one off and go do what I want to do with it. We still connected to the same body. We still connect to the same body. So when all these other places are set up, all these other communities are set up, it should have the same feel,
Yeah.
have the same spirit. Yes, sir.
That's good. All right, so we have a question from somebody in the comments. They said if someone wants to go to Straitway, do the elders choose where you end up?
Um. Well, I'm gonna answer that so everybody can kind of understand what they're asking.
Right, right,
Everybody that comes to Straitway don't end up on communities first and foremost. The majority
right.
of people in Straitway are not on communities. Honestly, they're not. We will have to vet you. We will have to try you. We're gonna have to make sure that you are serious about walking this thing out the same way we are. Because again, these communities are homes. This is where we live. You know what I mean? So depending on your geographical location, wherever the assembly is as closest to you, if you make yourself known and petition us for fellowship, um, that information will go to whoever is closest to you. You know what I'm saying? And then that individual will contact you and they will start dialogue with you, right? And you can tell us your story, you can testify, whatever the case may be. But they will get a discerning spirit about you. And when they feel led of the Most High to invite you to fellowship, then you will be invited. I have people here that took well over a year for me to invite them to fellowship, y'all. And I had some people, the first time I talked to them, y'all told me to invite them, and I do. It's up to him. You know what I mean? So we don't have well, you got a 6-week probationary period. We don't have that stuff. We don't. It's all out of the Yah. Why? The book tells us that he added to the assembly daily. So when it comes time to adding people to the communities, that's still all led by Yah. I made an announcement this week. We are adding a brother to this community, right? Been a faithful brother, lived 3 hours away, moved up here close to us. He's been showing himself faithful all the time. We have an obligation to take care of the elderly as well in Israel. You see what I'm saying? So it's time to add him to the community. But that's the process we had to go to. Does it take everybody 3 years to get on the community? No. There's been people added to the community in 6 months. But we hear from from Yah on when to add and where to add them to. That's another thing that people need to be really open when they come. See, remember I gave the story in the beginning? When I found the man of Yah and the people of Yah, I thought I was supposed to be there with them, right there in Tennessee. So I'm starting to look for jobs, Mike. I'm telling you, and I got an extensive resume. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying
Right.
I've done a lot of stuff. So it's not hard for me to get a job anywhere doing almost anything, right? And I put out 50 applications. Do you know not one person called me back? I'm going up to I'm in Gallatin. I'm all the way over to Nashville. I'm going down the Smyrna area and Murfreesboro, trying to find a job somewhere within an hour or so of Straitway to be with the people. And I said, y'all, this is crazy. 50 applications. Normally I fill out one and I get it. You know what I mean? What's going on? And it became clear to me then, okay, you here, but I didn't bring you here to be on this land. And then, like I told you, instantly within 6 months, we had a community. So then I realized, oh, I see what you're doing now. But you got to be open to that. See, I just want the will of Yah. It's not about my will, but his will. So you may come here and be from Florida. What happens the day we see the spirit on you and we say, look, brother, you ready for a community, but we need you up here in Cleveland, Tennessee. We need you to go over here to Alabama. We actually need you to go out here to Kansas City and be with these things. Actually, you know what? We got a spot for you in Indiana. You know, I had a sister here. Remember, we had a sister. She came from the East Coast, came here, stayed with us for years. You know what I mean? You just would assume she's going to be here at Straitway, Georgia. Nope. When it came time to go in the community, we saw the need for what she specialized in and everything. She'd be better up there with Brother Daniel and them. And guess where she's at? Up there on the community with Brother Daniel and them. You got to be open to that, though. So if you come with your mandates and your dictates and you want to tell me, well, I got to be here. Well, you know what? Go do it yourself. And you got the right to do that. You want to go produce and just buy it in Missouri and live there, or go buy it in Kansas or Nevada, anywhere. I'm just naming states. If you want to do that, you're free to do that. But if you're a part of this, you will go wherever leadership tells you to go.
Right.
Because we are the ones that are discerning and knowing where you will be best at or where Yah desires for you to be. So that's another important part. When you come in, you just a willing servant. You should be willing to go wherever Yah tells you to go. Imagine if I would have pressed against Yah back then and said, no, I'm going to stay at Straitway. I've been looking for them for 3 years. Mind you, I was on the road for 3 years, man, living off faith. When I came out of her, I leaped out of her. Quit the job, left the church, left a homeland, left my children, left everything. And for 3 long years, I was on the road trying to find the people of Yah, going, hearing from the Spirit, going wherever he told me to go. And when I finally found them, I'm getting rejected. That's what it felt like when I filled out these applications. I'm like, oh my God, I ain't even worthy enough to be with them. You got me for 3 years out here doing this. I ain't worthy enough to be with them. Well, Yah had another plan. He had another plan, and we seeing the fruits of that plan. But you got to be willing in spirit, and you got to have a submissive, humble heart.
Be all in. I hear you. Let me check the questions here. Let's see.
And sip on me some water.
Okay. All right, let me see. I was paying attention so much to what you were saying, I wasn't getting prepared for the next question. All right, so here it is. And this seems to be a pretty good question. And it kind of what this person asks kind of ties into what the other question I had. How does a man receiving multiple wives work in the ministry? How come some have more wives than others? When can a man receive a wife? Thank you for the value. So he's basically asking kind of how the multiple wives thing functions, and then I have a question kind of that ties into that a little bit as far as how. But I'll ask that when you're done answering that, Elder.
Okay. The way this thing works is you got to know and operate in wisdom, because we still in captivity. People forget that. You know what I mean? It's not like we're living in a land where our law reigns supreme. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You got to have wisdom when you're navigating in that situation. You see what I'm saying? You can be here, but not of the people. And that's how we have to function. So when it comes to something like polygyny, multiple wives, we do try to give all the assistance we can. And I say it that way because everybody don't receive it. That makes sense. That's why I want to phrase it that way. We make ourselves available. We have guidelines set up that leadership put forward to make sure that this is going to be the best situation for not just you, but for Israel. Because again, we're one, we're a body.
Right.
So can a man just go out and have as many wives as he wants? He actually can. We can't do anything to stop a man from doing that. Now, what we will do in this ministry, though, is if we realize that you're out there and what you're doing is destructive, and it's done in a seat of malice, and it's done in unrighteousness, and it doesn't benefit the whole, what we can do then is just cut you off from fellowshipping with us. You see what I'm saying? The book is very clear that if someone is operating in levels of evil, you put that outside the camp, right? So a guy will say, well, I ain't evil just because I want more than one wife. Well, what if you can't mentally or spiritually handle more than one wife? You see what I'm saying? What kind of effect will that have trickling down on all the saints that you are assembling with and coming to the feast and just in the ministry as a whole? See, those that submit themselves to them that had a rule over them, we will guide you. We will counsel you. We will give you the instructions of what it takes to be successful in it. I'm in a successful polygynous relationship. Pastor Dow's in a successful polygynous relationships. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like we don't have people that know what they're doing. You know, people marvel when I sit there and tell them I've never had an argument with any of my wives, not one. You know what I'm saying? People say, you lying. Well, ask them then. Before y'all ask them. Again, all of us want to stay in our role, though. We love y'all more than we love each other. And we want to please him first and foremost. And they know this role as husband, wife, that's a temporal thing. I can see it. That's temporal. What are you going to be in the kingdom? Is she going to be my wife in the kingdom? No, she's not. Am I going to be her husband in the kingdom? No. So I'm going to deposit more in her to get ready for that than I am even in this. Now I'm going to enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to enjoy it as a wife. I'm going to enjoy it for the 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years y'all give me with her. But that's a temporal thing. So
Right.
I'm going to invest more in her as a sister than I will as my wife. And that'll get her prepared. And believe me, she will be the best servant that y'all created. And I'll be the best servant. And it's wisdom and understanding like that you need to get first before you go out here venturing and saying, well, just because I got this little feeling down below that I want to take on some more wives. It's a lot of responsibility in taking care of a wife. Because see, in Israel, real Israel, here in Straitway, we're going to hold you accountable. We're going to hold you accountable as a man, and we're going to hold you accountable as a woman. You are going to fulfill your role if you're going to be around us. Because we're not going to just sit here and let you run ruckshot over the holiness and this environment that's been created for people to come in and grow in y'all, for you to just be selfish and take on responsibilities and obligations that you are not even ready for. Now, when we first started doing it around here in Straitway, Pastor made it real clear. It's probably only going to be 5% of y'all that even get into polygyny. Most of you don't even need to worry about it. Now, I believe our children's children, if y'all tarries that long, as we go on, it'll be more and more. You see what I'm saying? Because all this wisdom will be passed down to them, and they can grow up in it. Most of us, not all, because some of us have, but most of us, we didn't grow up in this type of relationship. So what do you know about it? What kind of wisdom do you have with it? Now, if you come and you're the type of individual, we can see you got this level of wisdom and you can take care of it and all this, we ain't gonna have no problem with that. We still would like to give you guidance, especially if you've never experienced it. If you've never experienced it, we'd like to give you guidance. Why? Well, we know the umps and bumps of it. We've been through it. You know what I mean? So that's how it works here. Because people will say, well, only certain ones get about blah, blah, blah. Man, somebody got to lead this thing. Somebody got to walk this wisdom out. And just because you got a burr, again, in the below region, don't mean that you qualify to take on more responsibility and obligations.
Right.
And for me, one of the biggest things I got with the men is, are you mentally and spiritually strong enough to guide this system? Because this system has destroyed and raped and pillaged these women. And you know it. You can
And the men too.
you can sit here and talk about how bad our sisters are. But who is the brother that's actually going to take that sister under his wing and be everything that she needs to get back on the road of rehabilitation?
That's good.
Who's going to take that responsibility on? So when you come before me, if you ain't even in that mind.
Hey, your phone muted.
I had a phone call come in.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. Are we good? We back on?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry about that. But yeah, if you ain't in that mindset as a man, it's going to be a minute with me. I can tell you right now, because I'm not finna turn over one of these precious, beautiful daughters of Zion that I know is getting herself ready. She's humbling herself. She's learning her role. She's to these mothers. You think I'm going to turn her over to you, Jack Leg? You can forget that. She can stay in my house, and I'll take care of her as my daughter. I really will. I'm
Yeah.
going to give her to somebody that's not going to see. We've been charged as men to love our wives like Christ loved the church, right? Well, what did the Messiah do for the church? What did he do for the assembly? Did he not do everything? Did he not lay everything down? So some of you want maids and some of you want mamas and some of you want babysitters and all. Y'all got your own design in your mind of what you want in it. I'm telling you, that stuff don't fly here. It don't fly in Straitway. Because again, we roll in harmony. You see what I'm saying? We are in harmony here. And we're going to keep that peace. We're going to keep that harmony. And we're going to build things that's going to be able to be passed down in holiness and righteousness to the next generation. Not a bunch of filth, not a bunch of garbage, not a bunch of mess, not a bunch of drama. Say that for your mama. No. So can a man go out and have many wives? Well, he can. He just, if it's not done in righteousness and it's not building up Israel, you just won't be allowed to fellowship with us. It's that simple. And some I tell you, I've talked about this many, many times. Some folk get mad, oh, you stepping out of your bounds. Well, let y'all judge me then. Who are you? Let y'all judge me. If we off in our thoughts on this, let y'all judge us. Let him judge us.
That's good. That's good. All right, there's another question here. I'm gonna kind of sum it up. They're basically wanting to know, um, the operations, like how the whole community thing functions. I know you said a little about it, but he's basically asking, do the men work? What do the women do? Where so the money goes to the community? How does all that operate and function? So that's what he's basically trying to figure out.
We do it just like you read in Acts chapter 2, Acts chapter 4. When we come together, everybody take all their resources and they turn them into the man of Yah. Did you, oh, you didn't freeze. I thought you froze up for there, Mike.
Nah.
So you take them and you give them directly to that head. And he is in charge of distributing out as need for that community. The men typically will work outside or work on the community because somebody has to still be generating income so the community can keep growing. But every single dime that comes in goes to the head, and he is the one that's charged to distribute that as need be. Now, we keep meticulous records because at any time, Pastor Al can come in and say, show me the books. You see what I'm saying? To make sure. You know, as a head, you're being tried and tested by pastor and leadership to see if you're a good steward over this that Yah's put you over. You know what I'm saying? I'm over Georgia, but he put you over Florida, Mike. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't have the right to come out there and tell them Florida what to do. We don't do that with you, do we, Mike?
Nope.
We will suggest and we will give you answers to your questions when you call, but we don't lord over you. You're the one that y'all put in charge, but we will give oversight if we can see some things going crazy. We'll come down and make sure that you get it right.
Right.
But that's what true fellowship and brotherhood is. As a brother, I should love you enough to say, hey, bro, I see you going the wrong way. That don't work. I can tell you right now. I tried it 27 years ago, and this is what happened. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's love. It's a love affair. So everybody gives all. Everybody. It doesn't matter what kind of thing comes in. You give it all. So like, here's like something that happens. Like people come, say they got a car. They think that's their car. No, it's not. Because you may be driving a car that's a full-size SUV, right? But it's just you going out to work. You don't need 8 seats to go out to work. It's just you in the car. So I may put you in a little Honda Accord because it gets good gas mileage. You got to drive 90 minutes to work. And then I'll take your SUV and I'll give it to another family that is running runs to do the chickens and do this and that or whatever. You know, they need the space and they need it. So they will get that to drive mostly. You see what I'm saying? It's where the need is at. It's not about you. It's not about what you want. It's the greater need. You know, I've been here. We just had a brother come here and pick up a vehicle. He said, I'm trying to get out of her, Elder. I'm moving. I want to get out of the city. I want blah, blah, blah. I'm having a hard time. I can't find a vehicle right now. Brother, come here. And he picked up one of our vehicles and just drove it back to where it came from. Just drove it back to where it came from. Why? He needed that vehicle more than we did here. You see what I'm saying? He needed it more than we did. So he took the vehicle and took it back to where it came from. And he 4-5 states over from us. But if that's all it takes to help that brother get out, you don't think we're going to do that for him? And the brothers do the work on the community and outside. The sisters work on the land. They're chase keepers at home. Hallelujah. They're chase keepers at home. So they're the ones that take care of the cooking, the cleaning, take care of the children. They educate our children for. They do the gardening and all that kind of stuff, do the runs and stuff, you know, when they got to go grocery store and all of that. That's how a community runs. That's how it should run, you know, in its basic form. That's how it should run.
That's good. Yeah. All right. Let's see if we got any more. Let's see what else we got here. All right. Let me see.
Mike, while you put it together, I will make this statement.
Okay.
Community ain't gonna work for all y'all, unfortunately. I wish it would, because you really need it. People don't understand that when you get to the kingdom, it's a community. He didn't say I'm giving you a mansion. He said I'll go prepare a place for you in one of those mansions. You're gonna live communal no matter what you do. So it'd be best for you to get your heart and mind right now to get ready for it. But unfortunately, for what I see, the level of selfishness, the levels of unrighteousness, the disbelief, the discord that is being sown, the major majority, they're just not going to get it. They're not going to live a selfless lifestyle to where they would be an asset in the community instead of a liability. And if you're a liability, well, you're not going to be there too long. Now, we're charged to carry our burdens, you know what I mean, one to another, but not undue burdens. You know, stuff that don't need to be. We're not charged to carry all that crap. Now, we're going to love you. We're going to have long suffering. We're going to do all of that. But you get to a point where your will is just trying to oppress and depress everybody else, y'all will deal with you. That I guarantee. Like I said, we know how to love you right on out of a community. We do. Love you right on out. And what Pastor say, goodbye, good riddance, and so the hell on.
Yeah. Elder, if you could talk to the people, let the people know who might be interested in reaching out and fellowshipping with Straitway, how that works, what they need to do, the locations, depending on where they're at and all that.
Yeah. What you do if you're interested in fellowship with Straitway, you call the dining hall. That number is 615-688-3025. 615-688-3025. Once you call the dining hall, you'll leave a message. That message will get divvied out to who needs to get it. And then wherever you're at, that message will probably go to someone close to you that you can maybe possibly press in and fellowship with. Now, I say that because you may be 4 or 5 hours away from one of our closest fellowships. But if you really, truly want this thing and you want to keep the word where it says don't forsake assembling, you'll get there. The commitment may be once a month. I've seen people, because of their geographical location, commit to come once a month, but they keep their word. And the next thing you know, they're able to come twice a month. Next thing you know, they're around the community. Next thing you know, they own the community. I've seen it. But I've also seen people come and treat Straitway like it's just church that they've seen out here in the world. Those people don't make it. Those people don't make it. And I can tell you right now, with everything that's going on in the spirit, the tolerance for you type of person that wants to come and treat this just like, well, you know, I go when I'm free and when I'm available and all that, you ain't going to be around much longer. I can just tell you that flat out right now. You're not going to be around much longer. I've been speaking with leadership, and most of us, our fuses are really low when it comes to people like that, because we know the hour that we're in. There's not a lot of time left. You don't have time to be playing around. So if you come in this thing and you treating this thing like Christian church, where you can just come and give you a little $5 or $10 and leave and think you've done something because you showed up 2 or 3 times a year, this is definitely not the place for you. I can tell you that now, because we live the truth. We walk it out daily. It is our lifestyle. And the people that we want around us have the same mindset and desire the same thing. When the book says, come out of her, my people, so you don't be partakers of their plagues, they believe it. So they work in tooth and nail, hand and foot, to try to get out of these wicked cities.
Yes, sir.
So they can get to a place out here in the country like we've always lived, and we can live self-sufficient. We can supply our own food, and we can have some clarity of mind so we can really, truly hear from the Spirit. Man, just driving through the city, it sucks, because you got all these noises, you got all this smoke, you got all these sounds, you got all these lights. It's just everything to distract you. I hate driving through these cities. I'm telling you, there's times where I travel, I will literally go an hour out of the way, you guys. I will go an hour out of the way just so I don't have to go through one of these wicked cities. And it's driving through them. My spirit at that level where I don't even want to do that. Can I handle it? Absolutely. But I would rather drive an hour out of the way and see countryside for an extra hour than to drive through one of these wicked cities. And that's the mindset that of the people that's coming around us. You need to have that mindset. But if you want a fellowship, excuse me, give me y'all. If you want a fellowship, call 615-688-3025. That's the Straitway hub. Keep calling, because as y'all can see, we're super busy. There's a small group of people that handle hundreds of calls a week. You see what I'm saying? So if you call and someone will call you back in a week or so, keep calling. No one has ever been cussed out or told off or rebuked for calling all the time. I don't care if you call every day. I really don't.
There you
Keep
go.
calling, and somebody will eventually return your call. Because if you're serious minded, we will know that. And we'll give you the tools, and we'll put you in a position where you can prove that to Yah. And the Bible said, if you got a friend, prove them, try them, test them. Well, we're going to do that with you. You think you checking us out. We checking you out. See, we've been proven, tried, tested. We've been through the fire. You know what I'm saying? And those of us that are serious about this, we ain't going nowhere. We have that enduring substance where we're going to do this until the end so that we can receive salvation. We need to find out if that's what you got. Because what Pastor say all the time, a new broom sweep well. Well, we're going to see. We're going to wear that broom out. We're going to see how it sweeps in. Hallelujah. Glory to the King. But we're serious about this. This is our life. This is it. I don't want to do nothing else. This is it. If I can't do this, I don't want to be here. It's that simple. It's that simple.
All right, we got another question. Carrie asks, being in another country, how do I give all?
It doesn't matter where you live. I mean, that we have, well, you know, Ray and Adela, they were in Sweden. Where they at right now?
Straitway? Straitway Hub?
Yeah, they living at the hub now. So believe me, if you desire to give all, give it. Give it. And then see what y'all do from there. You see what I'm saying? It didn't come with no strings attached. You give it, and we'll know what type of spirit you're under. We will know exactly what type of spirit you're under. We will discern it. I promise you this, though. We'll be able to know if you are serious or if you're one of those people to say, well, let me give them, let me give them a little bit of money and maybe they can take care of me. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that you're really thinking inside, we will be able to discern it. It will be like, the Father knowing that someone has bad intentions towards us, but he don't warn us about them. Now, if you got real true intentions, hey, you are brother, you are sister, come on in. But when y'all say give, he said give. We had a mother, she's here. That mother is here right now. She was part of the ministry living in Virginia. Father really moved her heart, said, you need to give all. She sold her house. Now, mind you, what she didn't know was a year and a half before that, Pastor Dow came to visit me here. And I said, Pastor, come around the corner. Let me show you this house. He said, okay. When he saw it, man, what they want? What they want, Elder? Oh, man, what they want? We worked it out, bought the house a week later. Wasn't long after that, bought the house. We didn't know who was going in that house, y'all. We just both knew we need to have that house. And it was gutted at the time. It had nothing in it. It was gutted, just the brick frame of it. So the brethren start slowly working on it. We going out working on our jobs. We working on this house on the weekends and stuff, on first days and stuff. Slowly working. We had to do everything new. Elder Becker and them came and did the new plumbing, the new electrical, everything. This house is brand new on the inside. Everything on the inside is 100% new. The only thing we kept was the brick frame of the house, okay? A year and a half later, y'all move on this sister's heart. She takes the proceeds, the profits of selling her house and send it to the ministry and move into an apartment. A little bit of time after that, pastor made the announcement at a meeting. He didn't even warn her. He just said it at a meeting. I got a house for you in Georgia. Now, see, the thing is, she's in Virginia, right? Or North Carolina. I'm sorry, Virginia. She's in North Carolina. She had to be willing to go when a man of y'all told her to go. So you may be overseas and you give all, and the man of y'all may tell you stay there, or he may tell you go up here to Canada. Go over here to, well, he ain't gonna see you in California, I promise you that. Go over here to Alabama. You see what I'm saying? You got to be willing to go. Now, she gave all with no strings attached. She had no idea what y'all was gonna do. She just know to follow the scriptures, and she gave everything she had. And she kept her little job, and she just lived in an apartment and worked. But she took all that proceed and gave it. And y'all have heard the story, so I can say it. It was like $54,000. Now, I can promise you, we got way more than $54,000 in that house she living in. So what it cost us to buy it and to remodel the whole entire thing. Now, mind you, we pay the utility bills over there. We pay the water, the gas, all that stuff over there. And she is a part of this community now, but she has her own home over there.
And it's not like Creflo Dollar where you give all and you at a bus stop and he fly over you in a Learjet.
Bingo. She lives just like we live on the community.
Yep.
She come here in this diner and eat the same foods that we eat. She was absorbed in this community and we gave her that home because that's what y'all said. But mind you, we bought that home a year and a half before that, and she was not a thought in my mind nor Pastor Dow's mind. We just knew we need to get this home. We didn't know who or what was going in that home. So if you feel led to give all, give all. And that means all. And believe me, all these people you see on these communities, they have all done that. They have all done that. So folks say, well, how do I know I can trust this man? Well, that's on you. I got a witness on him. The day I saw him, the day I heard his voice on them videos, I said, that is the man of Yah. And I've been following him and serving him faithfully ever since.
Elder Rufus, tell them about that real quick when you first came across the video.
Oh boy. When I first came across the video, matter of fact, Sister Chandra was the first one to send it to me, right? My second wife. She wasn't my wife at the time, but she sent me the video, and and this was before Straitway. You know, I was out there, again, I was in the faith, but I just didn't know Straitway. And she calls me back later and says, hey, did you listen to that pastor I sent you? I said, pastor? Because I turned this video on, and it was one of the few videos back then where Pastor Dow didn't lead with the good morning, good evening, good afternoon, this Pastor Dow. He didn't lead with that. He just started the video. And he was talking about Mylar bags and, you know, Pastor Dow be yelling and all this kind of stuff. So I saw it, and I'm like, you ain't sent me no video on no pastor. You sent me some video of some country guy yelling and stuff. That's what I saw. And she said, no. That man is a pastor. And she said, he teaching on a much greater level than you. I said, really? So at this time, Mother Jennifer, we at her parents' house in Memphis. She's coming up the stairs. She said, have you watched this video? And I said, man, I'm talking to Chandra right now. So I went on YouTube right then. And I said, I'm going to start watching this man's videos. At that time, now mind you, y'all know Pastor got over 6,000 videos now, right? Back then, he only had 300. 300. I watched all 300 of those videos. I started with the preaching first, though. See, that Mylar bag stuff didn't interest me. I want to, what are you talking about with that word? So I went, and back then on YouTube, remember, you could only do a video up to like 9 minutes and 58 seconds. So his sermons were broken down in like 10, 11 videos just to hear the whole sermon. And I went to his sermons first. Then I went to all the do-it-yourself and farming and all that kind of stuff. But I listened to that first preaching, and I said, that's the man of Yah. That's him. That's him. Hallelujah. And I changed my course. Mother Jennifer can testify. I had plans to go from Memphis, Tennessee, down to Southern Alabama and hook up with another guy, go out to Texas and the West Coast to help him do this healing center. I called him up, ain't gonna be able to make it. Got other plans. Got to head to Tennessee, bro. Sorry. And I've been rolling with Pastor Dial ever since. Yes, sir.
All right. We got a couple questions. All right. All right. So Sister V's, she said, Elder, can you please speak to getting out of debt in the process of giving all?
Yeah. Well, you can't give all when you owe all. So your first step should be getting out of your debt. And a lot of times it may seem insurmountable, but if you start to sacrifice and you start to do it, we have seen it. We have had people testify getting out of $50, $100, $200, $300,000 of debt. Some people take a year, some people take 10. It doesn't matter. If Yah sees that you're really committed to do it, he'll help you along the way. He really would. This gentleman we added to the community, he had debt. Check it out. I literally just instructed him, didn't make him, but I said, suggested, a strong suggestion. I said, bro, you got that brand new truck. The truck's like 2-3 years old. With the way the market is now, you could probably get what you paid for out of that truck, even though you got 60,000 miles on it. He said, Elder, you can't be. I said, I'm telling you, I know what I know. I would suggest you sell that truck and get rid of that debt. Take the check that comes from it, because you only owe this. Like I think, I'll just use crazy round numbers you can understand. Say you owe 30,000 on a truck. Well, they're gonna give you 28,000 for the truck. You only owe 18 on it. Now you finna get a check back for 10 grand. You take that check and go buy your car scot-free. So now you have no debt on your vehicle, and then take a little bit of the rest of that money, right, and pay off some more debt. And the individual did that. So now they got a nice vehicle. It's still nice, but it's paid for. And they was able to pay down some more of their credit card debt. See, when you serious, y'all will meet you there. Now, everybody don't have a newer truck like him. But again, it's the effort. Give an effort. You created the debt. You pay it off. Most of us are sitting back waiting for somebody to do something for us. Well, nobody do nothing to get you in that debt. You did it. Because again, you come into a community with your debt, all you doing is bringing on liabilities that the community don't need to take on. They really don't. Now, am I saying that if you have debt, you can't get on the community? I'm not saying that, because we're going to do whatever y'all tell us to do. I know this, it's going to be a lot easier for you to get on the community if you don't have debt. Because think about it. What if y'all is saying, I want to send you right there to where Michael Israelman at? They're just starting up, but they're close and they're getting there. But you show up with $100,000 of debt, you finna cripple them. Why would y'all do that? Why would he do that? For your foolishness. You see what I'm saying? Why would he do that? No, you created it. You work your tail off to get it paid off. Now, student loans, we know what's going to go down with all that. You know what I'm saying? But if you got this credit card, houses, cars, and all this kind of, man, shoot, most of that stuff you can just sell. Most of that stuff you can sell and get out of your debt. And some of it, if it's just too bad, hey, do what the rich do. How many bankruptcies that what's the president? What's his name? That guy used to be president.
Trump.
That booker had like 6-7 bankruptcies, man.
I ain't know what that mean.
Yeah, he had a lot. I know he had a lot, like 3-4. He had a lot. I know he did it more than once. Let's put that way.
Wow. Yeah.
So shoot, do what the rich do. If you can't pay it off, go put it in the bankruptcy. Now you're debt free. Well, I won't have no credit. You ain't got no credit now. What difference do it make? I would rather be jacked up credit wise but debt free than to be jacked up credit wise with a bunch of debt. So there are ways that if you really truly want to do it, there are ways if you really, really truly want to get out, there are ways. Most of the time it takes you sacrificing something that you don't want to sacrifice. That's what.
Brother Cedric asks, how about someone that is on child support?
Pay your child support. Part of the system. Jesus paid taxes, didn't he? You're looking at a man that paid 18 years of child support. You ain't get no sympathy from me, bro. You made it. Pay it. I mean, it's what it is. I had to wait. And I did 18 years because she went to college. So I had to wait till my daughter graduated from college. I'm glad she got out of college early. But all you can do is pay it. Pay your child support, bro. Get current if you're behind. Get current. Now, again, if it's just a bill if you're not behind. Think about it. It's just a bill. You know what I mean? So somebody that, like, say somebody come here. We got brothers here that's on child support. That don't stop you from getting to a community. Just pay it. You see what I'm saying? Just pay it. So we don't need Charlie knocking at the door looking for you every other week because you ain't paid your child support.
All right, somebody said, what about if you're a football millionaire? Are they still required to give all their millions or a partial, or how does that work? Do they pay a offering? Or are they still millionaires?
It don't change. The requirement is the same for all of us. You heard the story in the scripture about the rich young ruler, didn't you? I'm sure he had that. You saw what happened with him. He didn't want to give up his million. Now, he was boasting on the fact that he kept the commandments all his days, but he really didn't. He really didn't, because he wasn't willing to give all like Jesus. He didn't want to be a true disciple. See, we're dealing with true disciples in Straitway. All right? If you want to be a true disciple and a follower of the Most High Yah, that's what we're doing here in Straitway. So we all required to give all. So these millionaires, every single one of them that you see that's part of us, they all are willing to give all. But here's the thing. Pastor Dodd, he just testified about this. He told Kabir, I ain't never managed that kind of money, even though you want to give it. So what I say to you is, you keep it and manage it, because you'll do a better job of managing it than I will. But was he willing to turn it over? Absolutely. He don't get a pass just because he's got millions. He doesn't. And you see, as he came, other football players came. Well, we got 5 of them now that have been in the NFL that's in the ministry. Those are just resources for the ministry. That's what they are. His millions ain't no different than your tens of thousands. If you got that, or hundreds of thousands, whatever you got, it ain't no different. It's all one pot is what y'all got to really get in your mind. And it doesn't matter what your social status or your finance, that doesn't matter. It's all one pot, and it all can be used for the glory of the Most High. Hallelujah. That's what it should be. So you don't get to think different because he a millionaire. Hell no. He know that. They know that. Let's put it that way.
All right, we got another one. Nathan asks, Shalom, brothers. I own wooded land and would like to put a home on it, what's the best way to get a home on it?
That's a lot of work because you got to take down all those trees. More than likely, if it's just wooded, you don't have probably electrical or water out there. So getting a septic tank on there, it can be done. It's just gonna take a lot of work and depend on where it is. You know what I mean? We've had people that come in with lands. We have to assess it. If you're a part of us and we know that you're with us, we would have to assess that and tell you, because I can't sit here and say do this, do this, do this, do this, because I don't know. You may be in California with wooded lands, and I would tell you sell that crap. We don't want to put no community in California. You don't want to be there. You see what I'm saying? It,
Right.
it could be that. So, and I just use it as an example. So I can't give you like a definitive answer of what exactly to do. Can wooded land be converted and put a home on? Yes. It just takes a lot of work because you got to remove the trees, the stumps, and you got to level out the ground, and you got to have some place still where you can put your septic tank because you're going to be pooping. It's got to be held somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I can't like give you a definitive answer of what you got to do because I don't know where your land is, and I don't know you, whoever asked that. I don't know your spirit. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know where your land's located. So, but again, all this stuff is discussed frequently, talked about all the time in the ministry. Uh, Everybody's coming ready to make moves. At the end of the day, be willing to just give all. Because when you read Acts chapter 2, Acts chapter 4, most of those people just sold everything they had. And think about that. I want y'all to really think about that for a minute. Everybody pause for a hot second. Think about that. These people were possessors of lands and homes. It was plural. Go read it in Acts chapter 2 and Acts chapter 4. And they were willing to sell them. Why would they do that? See, it wasn't about what they had created. It was about what Yah was going to create. You see what I'm saying? Because your home where it is may not be a benefit to the ministry. May not be. You could have a $500,000 home in California. We're not going to put people in that home. I can tell you that right now. Well, California, that ain't nothing. That's a normal home, ain't it? Yeah. Well, say $2 million home in California. That's a nice home no matter where you go. We're not going to put saints in that house. I can tell you that right now, because we telling everybody, get the crap out of California as quick as you can. But at the end of the day, if you just do what the book says, sell it and turn in the proceeds, then you let Yah determine what you get. Because are you the type of person that can do that? Can you go from living in a mansion and being in a room? Could you do it? Could you have that mindset? That could be required of you just to test you. You just never know. You just never know. I mean, our brother Kabir, Pastor talking about all the time, so I can talk about him too. That brother can't wait to get rid of that mansion. And think about this. He built that for saints. He built that with the design of taking care of saints. And he can't wait to get out of that place. He can't wait to sell it and move and buy land and live simple like the rest of his family does. Same way, same mentality that Moses had. You remember, he was up there in Pharaoh. He had the best of best. And he said, no, I'd rather go down there and make mud with my family. I'd rather be all inclusive. I'd rather have one mindset. If that's what my family doing, that's what I want to do. And he gave up the riches of Egypt. He gave them up. Are you willing to do that? See, those are the type of people we want in this ministry. You don't have that kind of mindset. I'm gonna tell you right now, you ain't gonna make it long here. You're not. You're not gonna make it long. I didn't have millions and all, but I did okay. I lived fine. Multiple estates, right? I live in a room now, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Now people say, well, you got many. Well, I got a few rooms. Okay. All right, let's keep it real. I got a couple rooms. So what? But I don't have a house that I live in that's just mine. Are we looking to build me one? Yeah. Do I actually care? I really don't. I need the house for you so I can minister to you properly. I'm fine being in the room I'm in. How many of us got that same mentality though? How many of us will be content to take your family and stay in one room? Shoot, when I condensed us so we can really truly build, because we had an apartment, Mike, we had an apartment around the corner. And I said, bump that. I'm shutting that apartment down. Everybody over there coming over here to live. So that means I had to make space for those families that was living in that apartment. So my family, now I'm in polygyny. My whole entire family had to move into one room until we could build. And you got pictures of, you probably didn't put them up, but when we first had to build the ABC building, livable space. But until we got it built, my whole entire family was in one room. Are you willing to sacrifice like that? So when you see a leader do that, what kind of excuse you gonna make? What kind of excuse will you have? Because the saints are looking like, man, how does that working? He got both his wives in there. How's that working? None of your damn business how it working. Just working. You see what I'm saying? And it's staying holy. Hallelujah. But again, when leadership sacrifices like that, it eliminates all the excuses of everybody else. So you're either going to get on board or kick rocks. And I'm cool with either one. Hallelujah.
That's good. And y'all don't pay attention to those people. I blocked them, but don't pay attention to people in the comments. Folks got spirits on them, and you know the word coming out when you see the
Troll City.
trolls come out. Yeah.
Troll City.
All right. So somebody asked, you always get this one, but somebody asked, is consuming marijuana against script or Straitway? Or am I thinking of this in the wrong light? That's a
yeah. We
puffer light.
we don't do no drugs at Straitway, so we don't condone people smoking marijuana. We don't condone it. We don't see it in the book, so we don't do it. Yeah, and there's additives that go into that, and we're not with it. So you can justify it all you want. I mean, we're just not gonna fight that battle with you. You want to be a pothead? Go ahead. Go ahead. You're just not going to be a part of us. It's just that simple. That's not allowed. Now, let me ask you, and people say, well, I bet you got people smoking weed. We probably do. I mean, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to try to be naive about it. There probably are people in there. Again, what's done in secret, it will be exposed to the light.
Yeah.
The day is coming. I promise you it is. And see, we have an ecclesiastical council. We set it up like the book. So we're going to judge that matter. I promise you we will. When it gets before, we've already had matters like this before us. We really have. We have literally had people lead the ministry saying, well, you can't justify to me, I can't have weed. Okay, well, go smoke your weed. Just ain't going to smoke it with us. And then we see what happens to them individuals. And every single one of them that have done it, it has been bad for them. Bad. One brother's in jail now for a long, 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 long time. And his main reason for leaving us back in a few years ago, because he wanted to smoke weed. Now, gratefully, his wife is still with us. But her and her children, they won't see him for a long time because of what ended up happening with him. Probably why he was high smoking weed. So if you want to be a pothead, go ahead. You're just not going to be a part of this ministry.
Hebrew puffer light.
Puffer light.
All right. Let's see. A lot of good questions. Let's see. All right. And like I said, I blocked a couple people. So y'all just let me know if anybody acting up. But Elder Rufus, that's all the questions I have here. Let me look at I think we hit most of them. So Elder Rufus, if you could I'm going to hand it over to you to add, conclude, and add in anything else you might want to bring out. So I'm going to yield the floor back to you.
Hallelujah. I think we covered a whole lot tonight, Mike. I'm grateful to the Most High. I'm grateful to you, Brother Mike, for doing this interview session. I do believe that it's critical that this level of information gets out to the people. People have to be able to see what it takes to walk this thing out. Our heritage and our culture was stripped from us. You know what I mean? So for us to just sit here and act like we can just figure it out on our own, that's not wise. And as we move forward in this, we just gain wisdom from the Most High and we apply it. You know what I'm saying? And we try to walk in the understanding that He gives us. So I'm very grateful that y'all put on your heart, Pastor Dow's heart, to do these and get this information out there. And if it just reach one person, it's worth it. You see what I'm saying? If one person actually gets it, changes the way they think, starts really applying the things that they read in that Bible and coming to the knowledge of this truth, it's well worth it. So I think we did a good job tonight of covering, what it pretty much takes to live on a community, the atmosphere and environments that it is in the communities, and what's going to be expected of you if you want to truly fellowship with us, because it's a fellowship. which we've been charged not to forsake. Hallelujah. So I think that Yah, through this interview was able to get out what he wanted, and through the rest, he'll get the rest out too. Because I think you got a lot more interviews to do, don't you, brother Mike?
Oh yeah. The next interview gonna be Elder Mitchell. So I'll be reaching out to him soon, and yeah, we got a lot to go.
Hallelujah. Yeah, I'm grateful. I'm excited about what Yah's doing, and just staying humble. At the end of the day, staying humble and pressing forward, because you're just not gonna get work done being puffed up and thinking about yourself. It takes sacrifice, you guys. If it's in it, you gotta sacrifice. You gotta be willing to give all. And nothing can be more important than him. Nothing can be more important than Yah. Nothing can be more important than his mission that he has. And he reveals that as we go. It's not going to be spelled out in some 20-page essay, and you're not going to be able to thump through pages to get this. The pages you thump to change your heart is that Bible. That will change the way you think. That will change the way you comprehend and process information. You thump that Bible with a clear, open spirit and open heart to receive. That's where you do your receiving at. Not go to the Bible to prove this right and prove that wrong. You're going to end up being jacked up like the rest of these religious folk. You go to that Bible, open spirit to receive whatever it is Yah wants to give you from it. And then your eyes and ears can be open. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. So yeah, y'all see, I'm looking in the comments. I see by the comments that y'all really enjoyed the interview. Elder Rufus definitely was coming straight down the middle, dropping big old facts. And I appreciate him taking the time. Elder Rufus, I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to come on here and bless the saints, bless us with this, with all this knowledge. And yeah, so like I said, we're going to wrap this one up. Appreciate all y'all tuning in. Stay tuned for the next episode, which will be episode 3 of the Straitway Life series. And I'm going to be reaching out to Elder Mitchell here, and we're going to hear from him. And eventually, y'all going to begin to see a consistent pattern in what's said and everything like that. Elder Rufus, did you have anything else?
No, sir. Shalom, strength and honor, man. Bless you. Appreciate you.
Okay. So definitely want y'all, make sure y'all share this video, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Elder Rufus, if you could, tell them your YouTube channel or anywhere else you're at on social media.
Straitway, my YouTube channel is Straitway, Georgia, Elder Rufus. Straitway, Georgia, Elder Rufus. So I post the videos of whatever we got going on. I follow in the same vein as Pastor Dow. So I'm not as good at it as Pastor. He remembers to do videos on everything, and half the time I gotta be reminded you should do a video. So I don't even have a couple hundred videos, I don't think, but I do. I've been better. I've been better lately at showing y'all what we got going on and the camaraderie and getting this work done for the Most High. So I promise I'm gonna get better. But if you want to see what we got going on here at Straitway, Georgia, you just go to Straitway, Georgia, Elder Rufus, and that's my YouTube channel.
All right. So definitely go over there, check them out, subscribe. And with that said, appreciate all y'all tuning in. Like I said, make sure y'all share. And with that said, y'all, shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom. Strength and honor, Israel. Bless y'all.